Welcome to the Loud Quiet. Ooh, empty nester. Okay. What does that mean?
Yeah, I think that actually probably is the theme of the empty nest. What are we doing? Let's do this. Let's do this thing. I don't know if I'm recording. Yeah. Okay.
Great. Sans children. Just us. We need a tissue box up here. Follow along on our journey and maybe, we can learn from others.
Yeah. I don't have a clue how to be empty nester.
This is the Loud Quiet Living the Empty Nest. Hey guys, welcome back. Episode 8, The Loud Quiet. I hope you enjoyed the last episode with JP and Aaron. We had a lot of fun doing that one, just talking about our relationship and our girls' relationship. And so that one was a really fun one for us. And I hope that if people are, thinking about selling their house, moving their house, you just got to hear their story. And we appreciate you guys listening. So this is episode 8. And this one will be aired when we will be in another state.
We'll be in Tucson when this comes, right? Yes, Tucson.
We'll be in Tucson, yes.
It's hard to imagine that we will be heading out to Arizona for an entire week for Parents Weekend. So
for 9 days.
Yeah.
It's longer than,
And I mean, this is our moment. We're actually getting a chance to go back and see the kids that we left, the kids that created this empty nest. And now this will be the first time that we're going to get to see them since that moment in August.
Mm-hmm. It is, like we've talked about before, it is different because we do talk to them every day.
Yeah.
Tanner's has tapered off a little bit, I'm sure, senior year, but he doesn't need to be in constant contact. But, we still do hear from him probably at least every other day, if not every day. Teagan is every day, which I love. It's great.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
and it makes it like you would think your senior, that doesn't surprise you, right?
No.
I mean, think about us as adults, right?
Yeah.
We're not talking to our parents daily or our families daily, so.
And, him being a senior, I think about everything we did with her last year, senior year of high school. You had so many events, so many laughs, and then it just hit me today. I was like, this is his last Parents Weekend.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
I was just trying to go back and find a picture of the first Parents Weekend, his freshman year, and all I could find was this because we realized they didn't have Parents Weekend that year.
I know.
It was virtual because of COVID.
And
But
Parents Weekend virtual, right?
Yes, we said, I know.
That's a whole aside about virtual and that sort of stuff. But we had forgotten that. It was sitting down thinking about, okay, let's get a picture. Totally had forgotten that there wasn't that.
No, I was trying to find, I was just like, why is there not a picture at the football stadium? I know. Right. And then it dawned on me, oh yeah, the team still played, but no one could come.
That's right.
And then luckily Tanner was on the ASU club soccer team, so we still went out there, took his roommates out to dinner, and got to go see his game. So we made it a Parents Weekend, and it was nice that he did have his soccer team that year, so that we could do that. But
we got our sporting event in.
I know, but I mean, looking at this picture, I mean,
that kid,
you and I look similar. He looks.
That doesn't
totally
look like
different.
The same kid.
No. He's gained about 30 pounds, I think, or when
10 of those pounds would be his
hair,
beard that's on there. Yeah, that is amazing to look back and think that was 3 years ago, and it is a reminder of what that experience was like that first and I think it almost set the pattern for a lot of the Parents Weekends that we've done at Arizona State. Is we didn't do the big parent tailgate and we didn't do the parent activity because they didn't exist, and so that never became our rhythm.
Right.
Our time to go visit Tanner is to go out there, and it tends to be we land around 3 and it's, hey, are you ready for happy hour? And then we go to happy hour, and then we go to dinner, and we just enjoy an evening. And yes, we've been going to the football games. It hasn't been that integrated into the formal Parents Weekend.
Well, it has, though, because we did stuff with his fraternity. We just didn't do...
Oh, I meant the school. Yeah. The ASU version of it.
Because we didn't do that because I don't want to do that stuff. I don't need to go do an obstacle race with people I don't know and don't...
What?
Yeah, no. No, but
this year.
We've done, his fraternity threw a party the first year. I got to see lots of old dads and moms doing keg stands, which is quite entertaining.
There is certainly a trying to recapture lost glory. And if time had allotted, I was about to do, and I'm kind of glad that time ran out.
Last year you played Flip Cup.
I did.
So
it was explained to me.
That was fun. Last year we did stuff with a group of his other friends, and it was so much fun. And like this year we're going out to dinner with the roommates and the parents who we've all known for the past since freshman year. We're doing that Friday night. Saturday, I guess we're going to be subjected to, because now that he's for real 21, he can go on Mill Street.
That's right.
So we get to go to all the bars on Mill Street. I told Rick today, I said, pack some grody shoes because
that you don't ever want
know.
again.
Yeah, I don't know how it's going to be.
I'm going to step on this bar floor and it's going to rip the sole of my shoe off, and it's going to rip my soul out as well. Yeah, I am looking forward to that kind of and that is kind of fun because we didn't, I went to Duke, you went to Baylor. At the time, it wasn't this huge tailgating scene and that sort of thing. I've enjoyed going and seeing some of that scene. You see some of the pictures of parents' weekends at any of the SEC schools and some of that aspect. It's been neat to see, and I'm looking forward to experiencing some of that. Now, we're not going to the football game this year for Tanner's. We'll talk about Teagan, but we're not going to that football game.
No, Tanner said he wasn't interested this year. He said he's already been to a couple and they're not playing so well, so we would just like to take that opportunity to just go out to another dinner with him. So
that is fun. And that's one thing I think about that, especially as we're going to talk about Teagan. I have this comfort level with his school. I have this comfort level, like, oh, we're going to go to Sushi Holic. I said that rolls off my tongue just as if I said, hey, let's go eat at Tupi's here in Frisco. It's just a place that we know and we're comfortable with. It is, well, I don't know what that face was, but it was just a name. For those that are listening, I got the what are you talking about face.
That's just an interesting restaurant that you picked because there's some that we go to way more than Tupi's, but okay.
I know. I don't want to say those because I don't want people going there because then it's crowded.
Gotcha. And we're going to Uncle Sal's, which if you're from the Phoenix area, that's another one of our favorites. And I loved that, the other roommate's mom whose dad went to ASU, they picked that place and we're like, oh yes, we love that place. And we've taken as roommates there too.
That's the one that they felt like they were in The Godfather when we sat at the table and sitting at the back
we
table.
love that restaurant. So,
and it's this comfort level. And I think that's what just like Tanner is feeling the comfort level of being a senior and the relaxed nature of being a senior, we are too in that parents' weekend. It's interesting to be a part of the other side of it as well. Now, I'm absolutely looking forward to what we're doing in between.
Oh, yes. So we are staying out there the entire week, which is totally different. We're usually in on Friday, out on Sunday. But this time, because their weekends really felt one is this weekend, one is the next weekend. And so, we just decided just stay out there instead of flying back and forth. So
I can knock out a couple days of work there.
We're going to go back to the Grand Canyon. We haven't been there in a while. I can't wait for. So
I'm so excited about that. I really am. I was spent a little time looking at the Park Service website, thinking, oh, this trail, oh, that view, oh, that. I love that place. There's something just magical about it.
And I even thought, I even thought I was going to say to Teagan, do you want us to come get you? And you can go to Tanner's. I guess now they call them family weekends, but
right.
But then before I even got a chance to, she's like, oh, I have plans on Friday and Saturday. And I was like, okay, well, never mind. So
it will be fun. So the Grand Canyon is a planned activity. We don't have anything planned for Tuesday and Wednesday of that week. It's going to be, we have always talked about, and this is related to JP and Aaron with their move, we've always talked about moving to somewhere, right? Moving to and the Phoenix and that valley would be an area to be. Not that this is a test run or anything like that. We're not planning to move, but it'll feel more like being a resident of a place because it's not, okay, well, I'll slam my clothes on the side of some dresser for 2 days and then repack it. We actually can kind of calmly enjoy being in the area.
Well, and like you said, too, we have been going there for the past 3 years. And so we do feel, and frequently, I mean, we were going probably, at least twice a semester, if not 3 times a semester, minus the semester he was abroad. And we missed it. We were
Oh my
ready to
gosh.
get back out there. And so
The spring was killing me.
I do feel like it is a place that we do know there's still so much more to explore, but we have our regular spots that we like to go, and we have our hiking spots that we like to do. And so it is nice in that aspect. And then, when we go to Tucson on Wednesday, we don't know.
It feels weird. Like this is the part that feels a little. I mean, I want to talk about we're talking about the cities. There's an element of we get to reconnect with the kids, and I want to talk about a little bit of what that feels like, because there is this feeling of, oh my gosh, we're seeing them. Tucson, though, talking about the city, I don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
It feels weird to start over.
Well, here's what I think is different about the reconnecting with the kids. With Tanner, we've been there, done this. Yes, we are so anxious to see him and ready to see him, but I don't feel the same. I mean, I was counting down the days on my calendar until we get to see Teagan because, like I said, she and I were pretty much connected at the hip before she left. And again, we have talked so much, and so it is different. Tanner, I look at it as we get to go into his world and see him, and he's fine. He's good. And Teagan is too, but it's just different because this is his 4th year of,
it's a familiarity.
It's just yes.
We've already done the arrival. We've done the hug. We've done the first reconnecting after that. I still sort of feel it, though. I feel that excitement, even with Tanner, and I know you do as well, of the chance to get to see him is it is different, yes. It is also this sort of, because it's been so empty, it's going to be fun to see a kid, to do something with a kid and reconnect in that way.
I think I just realized that we are going to probably have to be going to him now wherever he ends up in law school, and he may not be back home next summer at all. Right. So I think I'm just already in that mindset of we have to travel to him and see,
This is just a normal visit. It's not anything special. It's just how you...
But it is. I mean, I love Tanner. We have a blast together. He and I have a really good time together. So, I do. I look forward to... Parents Weekend is just a lot of fun because his group of friends are a lot of fun. Yeah. And so they incorporate the parents into that fun. So,
what it may be, as we're talking about that, I think what it is, we're trying to get it, not dance around, but talk about, why does it feel different? Well, I think some of it just simply the familiarity, right? As excited as I am to see Tanner, I've done the Parents Weekend, and I kind of know what I'm getting into. I know what it's going to be like, and I'm looking forward to what I know I'm going to see. With Teagan, with Tucson, with all that, I'm just as excited. I have no earthly idea. I don't know how to go into that stadium. I don't know how to get in and out of that campus. I don't know. We were asking her, what restaurants do we go to?
Yeah. Well, because when we dropped her off, that campus was pretty empty still. So now it's going to be totally different, whereas we can't park in that parking lot that's right there, or we can't, So, it will be different. And yes, she's, already has, the one group of friends that she wants us to take out on Wednesday night, and the other group of friends that we're taking out on Friday night. Tanner, ironically, will be in Tucson.
Of all things.
Reffing a soccer game on Thursday. So we get to enjoy time. He gets to actually see Teagan during this week as well, which will be nice for them because they haven't seen each other either.
Right.
So, it actually, and then we have the game on Saturday, and then... because, I said, if you want to sit in the student section, that's fine. We did buy you a ticket, but you're not going to hurt our feelings. And she was like, no, I want to see y'all. I want to be with y'all. I was like, okay, good. Yeah. I want you to too, but.
And he did it. You know what? He did the same thing too. And I think that's probably true. Both of our kids are going to be like that. Now, in her sophomore year, in her junior year, in her senior year, maybe sit with mom and dad for the first half, and then bye, and that'll be fine.
And then mom and dad can leave.
I like it. Now, when Duke plays Arizona in basketball, totally different story, but that's next year, and I look forward to that. Yeah, it is. All of this is I'm excited about, and I know that kind of a little tease. We intend to do some talking and videoing and just kind of documenting what the experience is like out there. So I'm also looking forward to sharing that with the listeners and the viewers as well, of kind of living this parents' week. Living these parents' weekends and the interim week with us.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see. It was good that, Aaron and JP talked about how they related to Kennedy a little bit differently now that, she's been off. I know they've only been off for, it'll be a month and a half, I guess, when we see Teagan. But, they have had to do a lot of life on their own, and so it will be interesting to see how our relationships are changing and just growing in different ways. And
because we can think that these conversations are exposing us, and we do feel like we see this life, but when we see Teagan confidently navigating campus, and she will do it subconsciously, it's not like she's showing that to us, but as she confidently navigates campus, as she confidently introduces us to this group of friends, we'll just see this kind of naturalness to her in that environment, whereas all of us were experiencing the environment for the first time when we were moving her in. So when we see that, how will that change our perception of Teagan? And then also, how's that going to change our perception of ourselves as we walk away and see, yeah, we really did launch child 2. Wow.
And I think it's interesting talking about the different friends, the kids that we know who stayed close to home or went to a Texas school or went to one of the schools that a lot of Frisco kids go to. I know sometimes they do parents' weekends with those same families. We have gotten introduced to completely new people and people that are very fun and interesting, and we've had a great time getting to know Tanner's roommates' families. And so it will be interesting to get a whole different group of children that
I didn't even think about that we
adults.
Get the new set
of parents. I guess they're
adults.
They're not.
Yeah.
And it'll be interesting to see, though, because Teagan has fallen into a group that they're older. She has some girls on her floor that we're going to take out to dinner, but the other ones that are older, if they're going out with us on Friday night, their parents may not be, and a couple of them are from the area, so their parents may not be coming.
To them, it's just weekend,
right? So it will be interesting to meet a whole different group of people that I'm sure are going to be completely different than Tanner's group. They run in different circles, and so it's going to be interesting to see.
That's funny. You would think that I would have thought of that. You're hitting me with an epiphany right here, because I was planning to meet Teagan and her friends. I had not thought of the extension of meeting her friends' parents, the ones that are around. Ooh, that's going to be fun. I hope.
Yeah.
If they're not fun, we're not going to tell them about this episode. If they are fun, you can listen to this episode.
So yeah, no, I think I'm really looking forward to it. The packing is not fun.
Weekend packing's a lot easier, isn't it?
Well, and it's not even when we go on because we have been on trips that lasted longer than 10, 12 days.
Sure.
But you know what you're doing. You have your activities set. You know what you're doing every day, evening. This is, we're just going.
Yeah. How do you live in Phoenix on a Wednesday?
I have the Grand Canyon scheduled, and that's
end game, right? So we've got.
Sure, but
it is. We're becoming residents for a week, and what does that mean? You're right. The packing hasn't been fun. We're hoping that the flight, all of this. Hopefully, this isn't moot, right? Why on earth are we having thunderstorms in September?
I know
It's frustrating.
So
Absolutely.
So hopefully everything will. We've given ourselves, we have a 4-hour buffer to get to dinner tomorrow night.
If I'm not sitting somewhere at Uncle Sal's with one of their martinis in my hand tomorrow night, I am not a happy man. And I realize when this airs, it will be in the past. So you can go there to the Q&A section and ask, hey, did Rick get his martini? So,
and their martinis
they're good.
Yeah, they're good. They're big. They do a big pour.
They do a big. So brought to you by Uncle Sal's, Scottsdale.
Excellent restaurant. If you're in Scottsdale, yes, try it. It's
Maybe we'll
great.
tag them.
So that's Speaking of if our plane's on time and everything, we do have a text of the week, even though
Somebody has some other ideas, right?
I wasn't sure if we were going to get one because we did just record on earlier this week and we're trying to double up, so we'll have something to release. But so yes, this was Tanner's text today to both of us. He said, "What time do y'all get in tomorrow?" And I said 3:00. And he said, "Any chance we could hit a cheeky grocery run?" Okay, my response was, "I don't know what that means." I mean,
what is a cheeky grocery run?
I'm guessing he wants us to fund his parents' weekend fun, is what it is. Which I think that's what it is. But
I just thought he was just being, hey, a little quick grocery run because he doesn't want to use his grocery budget.
The child uses words that I don't. I mean, I know what cheeky is, but. A cheeky grocery run. I don't know. I was like, what store are we going to?
Yeah, if it's Benny Hill, a cheeky grocery run is not something I'm doing.
I was like, I don't know what that means, but we can probably work that out. And they both, I mean, and we do that every time we go, even though we give them grocery budget, when we're there, we still pick it up. And Teagan has already said, "Oh, I'm looking forward to going to the store," even though she doesn't really need,
get those Swiss rolls.
Because she has her meals on campus, which she is thoroughly enjoying.
Right.
So, but she was excited to go to the grocery store too. So I don't know, but
oh man, well, it'll be fun to do a cheeky grocery run. Yeah. So we will let everyone know what a cheeky grocery run is. Oh my goodness. Well, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a fun trip. Little break from this empty nest world and reconnecting with them.
Yeah, and it'll be, I mean, it's a nice get away for us too. So because they'll be in class while we're laying out by the pool. So.
Or you'll be by the pool while I'm working, but then there'll be the afternoon. Yeah. But I mean, we're being almost flippant about we're gonna swing by the Grand Canyon. That's a life journey for many. We're lucky that our kids are in school at a place, and we're lucky that we can go out there and spend the time with them to enjoy that and experience that.
Yep. Yeah. So we will hopefully be doing some remote videoing and
we'll see how this goes.
Yeah, maybe I shouldn't have said that, but you already alluded to it. So that's our plan, is to talk about things along
stay tuned
the
for
trip.
That.
So
before we close out, I did want to let everybody know we're trying to do a better job of including Q&As and polls in the Spotify version. So for those of you that are watching and listening on Spotify, there actually is a way for you to put information in the Q&A section, and we'll be putting out polls from time to time to kind of, we may think a certain opinion, but I'm kind of curious what the audience thinks about something, and so that'll be interesting. So Spotify, when you're there, just scroll down, you'll see that. Would love to connect with you, and hey, if you've got a tip that's interesting, we may be showing your tip on the screen and sharing your insight, and would love for you to be a part of the show in that way.
And I think also you can comment on
absolutely,
YouTube,
comments
right?
and the like. It's just this one's built into Spotify specifically, but certainly on YouTube, absolutely. Throw a comment, Apple Podcasts, leave a review, let us get some feedback there. That's how folks get to hear about this, and you get to share that with others. So here we are, wrapping up episode 8. Hard to believe we actually got here, but it was another session of The Loud Quiet, Living the Empty Nest.